It's a cozy, rainy day today, and honestly, what better way to spend the afternoon than soaking in the sweet, savory aroma of a roasting chicken filling the kitchen. This is the perfect weeknight meal because it's mostly hands-off, but the results look and taste absolutely impressive. Today, we're making the ultimate comfort meal that's simple, flavorful, and perfect for any night of the week. It also aligns perfectly with our Pantry Staple Series. On the menu, a beautifully seasoned oven-roasted chicken with crispy golden skin and juicy tender meat. We're pairing it with fluffy basmati rice, sweet corn on the cob, and perfectly tender carrot rounds for that classic, colorful plate that just feels like home. I'll show you how to get that chicken packed with flavor, how to keep your rice light and separate every time, and a couple of easy tricks to make your veggies taste amazing without a lot of extra work. If you love hearty, no-fuss meals that look impressive but are totally doable, you're in the right place, so let's get started. To begin, I'm going to season my chicken. I have already washed it. I've plucked off any excess feathers that may have been on the chicken after it was processed. I cleaned up the skin, I washed underneath, I washed inside the cavity. Again, you can do this under cold running water, or you can use lime juice or vinegar to get your chicken nice and clean. Now that I've done that, I'm going to make a seasoning blend and I'm going to cover my chicken well. You want to season the front and the back of your chicken as well as the cavity. This would be a great time to use the Jamaican green sauce to cover your chicken for that added traditional flavor, but I don't have any on hand right now, so I'm just going to stick to some basic dry ingredients. I will be using some all-purpose, some parsley, some thyme, some black pepper, and of course, some salt. I'm going to cover the front of my chicken with this seasoning, and then I'm going to make a blend, put the same thing on the back, and again, I'm going to make sure that I do a good job of seasoning the cavity of the chicken. This extra step will ensure that your chicken is flavorful, both on the inside and the outside. Now, this is a meal I'm making for my family on the weeknight after a day of homeschooling, chores, and taking care of business obligations. This is something that I'm putting together really quickly. So I'm going to just season the meat properly and get it into the oven. If I were dressing this chicken for my Thanksgiving table or for my Christmas table, I will ensure to stuff the inside of the chicken. I will tie the legs and make sure the presentation was done much better. But again, this is a weeknight meal. I'm trying to throw something together quickly that I can get on the table in no time. So once your chicken is seasoned well, you want to cover this. I've placed this in an oven-safe dish, and I'm using an oven-safe dish that has a ceramic cover that is also oven safe. You can use this to cut down on the use of foil in your kitchen, but whatever you have, you can use that. While the chicken is in the oven, I'm going to take care of the vegetables. So I'm just going to take some basic carrots. I'm going to remove the skin. I'm also going to cut off the tops, and then I'm going to cut this on a bias. Cutting it on the bias makes it look a little bit more special, but again, do what works for you, and especially considering the time that you have in the kitchen. I'm going to be pairing this with some corn on the cob, so I'm going to take care of that as well. The last component of our meal today will be some basmati rice. You're going to cook this according to the instructions on the back of your rice container. I am just simply going to bring a pot of water to boil. I'm going to season with salt and some butter. Once my pot comes to a rolling boil, I'm going to add my washed rice to the pot. I'm going to allow that to steam for approximately 20 minutes. At the end, I'm going to leave that pot uncovered and allow the steam to finish the cooking, but I'm going to turn the stove off. In that time, your rice will fluff up and be very presentable. So now that my chicken is finished, I am going to make a basic gravy using a roux. And the ratio for making a gravy is very simple. You need fat, flour, and a liquid. I'm using 2 tablespoons of butter for this roux, and then I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of flour to this. And yes, I'm using freshly milled flour, and I'm using a hard wheat variety. I'm going to heat the fat or the butter in a saucepan. I'm going to add to this the drippings from my chicken, and then I'm going to add some flour and pull this all together so that it creates a great gravy. The longer you cook it, the darker your gravy will be and the nuttier the flavor will be. So it's up to you when you stop mixing. The lighter you want your gravy, the less you will mix it. The longer you mix it, the darker your gravy will be. Once we've combined the flour and the fat well, we're going to slowly add some liquid. You can use chicken stock for this. I'm just going to use some water. I'm going to pour in those drippings from my chicken, and then I'm going to add approximately 2 cups of water. Again, you're going to mix this continuously to prevent any lumps from forming, and then you're going to bring it to a gentle simmer. You can season this now with some salt, black pepper, if you would like, garlic powder, thyme, even a splash of cream, but I'm going to skip that for today. The longer it simmers, the thicker it's going to get. Again, you're going to give it about 3 to 5 minutes. If it's too thick, you can add a little bit more stock or water. And if it's too thin, you can mix it a little bit longer and add a touch more flour and butter and mix that in until you get the consistency that you're looking for. Here are just a few tips to keep in mind when making your roux. Warm liquid blends more smoothly into the roux, so be mindful of the temperature of the liquid that you're adding to the flour and butter mixture. You want to mix constantly so that you have a lump-free gravy. And you can strain it at the end if you want an ultra smooth result. Always taste it to make sure that it's not too salty or it's not overpowering whatever flavor it is that you've put into it. But this goes great with roasted chicken. If you're making mashed potatoes, it's beautiful on rice and even on biscuits. Okay, and there you have it, a cozy, rain-kissed meal that's simple, satisfying, and full of flavor. From that golden, crispy roasted chicken to the fluffy basmati rice, sweet corn on the cob, and tender carrot rounds, this is the kind of dinner that feels like a warm hug at the end of the day. I love meals like this because they remind us that you don't need anything complicated to create something truly special. A few good ingredients, a little patience, and your kitchen does the rest. If you enjoyed cooking along with me, don't forget to like this video, leave a comment letting me know your favorite comfort meal, and subscribe so you don't miss the next episode. Until next time, stay cozy, keep cooking, and I'll see you in the next one.